Good evening everyone and welcome on the Jigger. Sorry for the slightly late start. Lost the connections on the spotlight and lost my temper in the process, but all is good now and the Jigger is rolling. And just want to catch up with Henry. He was waiting extra long for us during the afternoon drive. You know, there were some awesome lions around, and touch wood, but we should be able to spend a large part of tonight's night drive with those lions as well. So welcome on the Jigger. Leishan's in final control. Rexon has jumped from presenter seat to camera seat, and my name is Peter, and always nice to have you here with Wild Earth. Just want to see where Henry's gone. Sorry, we wasted his time a bit now, struggling to get something else going, but it's all fine now. Henry again? Something wrong with this radio, eh? I don't know what's up with it. Henry again?
Stand by.
Yeah, boy, can you see my light?
You can look at the block. You can book a mic.
Yeah, I've got it. Thanks, I'll be there now. Alright, well, we're in luck. Henry's helped us out there quite nicely. Lots of insects tonight as well. It's still very humid and hot out here as well. I think there'll be some rain coming maybe tonight. Yeah, go.
Thanks very much again, buddy. Help.
There's Henry's vehicle. Thanks, Leisha. Sorry, I'll change radios back again just now. It seems the one radio has now stopped working. Thanks, for. Yeah, now I'll get them. Come on, for. Alright, Leisha, I just caught bits of that. Just hello to Neville. Enjoying the drive with us. Leisha, I've changed radios back now, so be able to get hold of me better. Oh, lots of insects tonight, Rex. In fact, can you quickly, Rex? Sorry, a bunch of things happened just before we get. Can you pass me that tab out, please? Yeah. I'll quickly get some bug spray on my ankles before we get close to the lines. This stuff smells quite strongly. Okay, thanks, Leishan. I can copy you much better now. Neville, from South Africa but living in Spain. Which is not a bad place to live in. But I can imagine Neville, especially this time of year, Christmas time, when there's all kinds of sports on and all the joys of summer in South Africa. I'm sure you're missing it a lot. Well, quite shortly we're going to spend some time with lions. Well, let's not promise it yet. Smell them just now. I could smell something further back, though. Are they chasing or eating? Chasing. I was speaking too soon. I thought he said they were eating one. Henry, come in.
Stand by.
Yeah, but just confirm then, Gala, they were moving or they were stationary?
So moving.
Okay, they're moving southeast.
Southeast, yes.
Thank you. Let's see if we can catch up with them, otherwise we'll go through to Zoe's Road. Try and pick them up on that side. Case more and more often now this time of year, it's getting very thick. It's easier for animals just to disappear. But yeah, that we found him that other time, remember, Rex? Was it in Kuhumas? Remember that one time we found lions in here?
Yeah.
Very close to the same place. Have to work a bit longer than we thought. These cats are moving fast, so we'll look for them for a while. Say again, Rick. Here we go. What's that? Spotted something. Something. It might have been a smaller thing. Might have been a steenbok or a duiker or something. Ah, there we go. Bingo. Come on, thanks Henry, got them again. The Styx Pride. Let's go a little bit forward here, Rex. There's the rest of them coming. Whoop. Looking very lean. In fact, we might even get lucky enough to follow them hunting tonight. One, two, three big lionesses. Sorry, I'll say thanks a lot. Actually, various emails coming through, but the one I just looked at briefly before we left final controls from Peter Rettig. Peter, actually, thank you for the Christmas wishes as well just the other day. And saying that there's 7 of them, 3 lionesses. That's basically looking at 5 there in front of us. The 6th lioness is going to walk into picture shortly, I think. She was just trailing behind. So 3 adult lionesses, 3 sub-adult lionesses, and then 1, excuse me, 1 sub-adult male. Where's this other lioness? She must be following. Oh, there she is, just to the left. Rex and Leishman was telling me the one male was a little bit like off to the side earlier, huh?
Yeah.
He's getting to that age now where he's going to have to leave soon. I don't even see him at the moment, but he must be following behind somewhere. Oh, they're heading back towards quarantine again. Basically cut through here. Ah, look at that lovely sight, huh? There's something about a group of lions together on the prowl that's just impressive to see. Pictures is quite funny. Just wiggle those connections at the back. There we go. Thank you. Definitely on the hunt. I mean, it would be awesome. We might even see a hunt tonight. Or a successful hunt. We're already following a hunt now. Just, as I said, they're looking quite lean. It's pretty dark. There's only a little bit of a sickle moon out towards the west. And it was overcast earlier, but at the moment it's bright skies. I can see Orion and Canis Major, Plahides, everything nice and clear. Taurus right in front of us. So, beautiful clear night, but quite dark. Good conditions for hunting. There's no wind really. The air is just sort of stifling and sitting around us unmoved. So all in all, not bad conditions for them to try and hunt in. How far are they from us? That's fine. See, I thought maybe we can go a bit closer, but they're actually not that far from us. They're only 15-20 meters in front of us. There's the seventh one, or sixth one, sorry, behind the bush. Oh, there's lightning in the distance, huh? Rex, what do you think? You've lived here a long time. Rain tonight? Early in the morning? Hey? What, thunder? Yeah, I can see the lightning there behind you. Oh, something there. Yeah, they're all looking suddenly. Let's see, what are they looking at? Maybe that male that's coming? Or... yeah. That's the seventh lion. Rexon can hear it a bit better than we can. He's sitting further up the back, or higher up. Contact call there. Lovely sight here. Just an explanation for Neville and anyone else that's just joined us more recently on the drives, or maybe tonight for the first time. The reason you're seeing a black and white picture is that at the moment we're sitting in pitch darkness. Around us here I can see only what you can see. I can't see anything more. I can see the stars. But it's pretty dark, and we're using infrared lights. So it's an infrared camera. It's got a specific sensor that's sensitive to infrared light. And it therefore shows us a picture in the light spectrum that neither lions nor us can see. So it basically makes us see in the dark, and it also allows us to really not be interfering in any way with the lions, whatever they're doing, especially if they start hunting and so on. So even though we do use the conventional spotlight to find things, and every now and again just for me to gauge around what I'm looking at, it's all in infrared light. Where are they? I can hear them. Behind us. Where is it now? Oh, look at it right in front of us, Rex. They're coming right past us now. Brilliant. Oh, lovely. They are right in front of us. I mean, these lions, I'm sure, a little bit puzzled as well. Give you an idea, the one's going to walk past me. It's so close. Look at that. Right here next to us, and I can almost touch him. There's the other one. Look at that. Brilliant. Look how close that is. Back on the road, a bit of greeting there. Thanks, Leishan. Good lions walking down the road. There's a car driving in the back. I wonder if they're going to have a look at each other. Station voice access. Station and Waitela access service road. Yeah, who's that info? Oh, okay, now it's just in Impala there. Can you see them?
No.
Oh, okay, no, then maybe just missed you. They're just heading to voice access now. Thanks. Sorry, Lishan, we've only got one radio, so I'm jumping between two radios at the moment. Matt was just asking, Matt, nice to have you in the vehicle, and I believe Annie is enjoying the drive with you. Matt, now we've got a couple of different species of insect-eating bats here, and then I haven't seen them here, but I know that they are around. If you go a bit further south, they certainly are around. We get some of the bigger fruit bats as well. But I don't really know that much about the bats around here. I believe Annie studies bats. He also works in the reserve with you. Oh, look at that. There's a stork coming up. Let me just switch the lights off quickly. I thought that one youngster was going to play with Mum. I think there's a bit of play coming along. Hi Cindy, I haven't noticed specifically. I did actually think just now that the one female's eye wasn't reflecting light as much, but we'll look out for her and try and sort of pinpoint her a few. The one female's got a blind eye. It is nice to see the Styx pride more often again. Get to know them a bit more again. It's been a while since we really saw them on any frequent basis. And they are now on Waitela access, heading straight down towards camp, or quarantine area. Also possibly where Karula could be. This sort of lunchtime today, Leisha and I had a walk here, followed Karula's tracks for a long way across quarantine. She was actually walking exactly where these lions are now. And also Rex was saying earlier, fresh tracks around again. So possibly, who knows, maybe we even bump into Karula. That would be quite brilliant. Here's the young male. You can see that little bit of fluff around the neck, and he'll quite soon have to go off. Not a very good prospect really for a male to not be part of a coalition. At some stage you will have to. When these females start going into estrus again, he'll be in a lot of trouble if he stays around with the group. Hello Karen, and this is Karen from Connecticut, not our Karen from Virginia. Karen's asking an interesting question that people often wonder about when you get close to big cats, big animals I guess. Karen, no, there's never been sort of major nerves with these lions. I mean, sometimes they get very close, and I've never had an experience with any of the lions that are getting too close. These are lions and big animals in general in this area that's quite habituated to vehicles, so just have a good look at their behavior, and if there's anything funny about it then you be aware of it, but otherwise they're normally quite habituated. I mean, just now they were very close. I wasn't joking when I said I could almost touch the one if I was leaning out sort of at full stretch. excited certainly. The adrenaline gets going. Now that Leash and the other day had an experience where one of the lions were almost sort of stalking the car a little bit as they were leaving. Hello, Robert. Robert's asking if I remember August night drive, the Nkuhumas and the Mapojos. Robert, to be honest with you, I don't even most of the time remember what day it was yesterday. Never mind August, but I don't remember it specifically at the moment what you're referring to. But perhaps if you can give a few more pointers, were they interacting, what was happening? I would certainly remember it once it finds its folder in my brain. But at the moment I can't remember the specific event. But give me a few more clues, perhaps I can. Look at that view. Awesome. Lions spread out everywhere. 2, 4, 6. The seventh one has just gone around the corner. Rex is saying that there's some Impalas here perhaps. We'll have a look around now, but certainly there's a bit of a spread out there suddenly, and perhaps it could be a hunt following here. Hello Claire, glad you enjoyed the afternoon drive, and I'm sure you're enjoying this as well. It's so nice being with a group of lions, also not only with them but following them and being active with them. And then Richard saying, why is it looking so dry? But it was raining the whole morning. It was quite soft rain the whole morning, and even though there's no big puddles standing around like we would have if there's a big storm, which I'm really hoping comes later tonight or early in the morning, because it's very, very humid and clammy. So I think there is some rain on the way, but it's not that dry. I mean, the only thing you've seen now is the road in front of us, and the roads obviously dry out quicker because they're compacted. But go walk in the bush, the grass, the soil itself, it's plenty of water around there. We're driving past puddles now on the right hand side. Yes. Thanks, Robert. You should just relaying your message there. I remember that night specifically very clearly now. Yeah. Robert is saying the night he was talking about, and those of you that were with on the drive would certainly remember as well. We were following the Nkuhuma Pride. It was a night drive, and Herman was on camera, and we didn't actually have a zoom lens that night. Something wrong with the camera. We only had the wide angle, if I remember correctly, and Leishan, I think you were directing. And yep, Leishan was directing, and we only had the wide angle lens, and we followed the Nkuhumas, and then the next thing two Mapojos arrived, and there was all kinds of chaos ensuing and roaring and lions running everywhere, and then we followed the two Mapojos, and there was one lioness with them that in the end we started was possibly decoying or sort of keeping their attentions away from the rest of the pride. Yeah, I definitely remember that. It's August, huh? It's like 3-4 months ago already. It's bizarre. Time goes quick. Oh, look at this, Rex. Let me just go a little forward. Wait for these lions to walk towards us. This should be a very nice view now. Sit here and wait for them. They should move roughly towards us. Get a bit of that frontal view. Keep in mind again that light you can see moving there, that's the infrared light. So there's no lights around us now. It's a little bit of a glow here from the vehicle, that's it, just from the monitors that we were using to see exactly what you're seeing. And it's sometimes, that's the one thing you were asking earlier, if I ever get nervous. I wouldn't say I get nervous. There is an eeriness to it sometimes, sitting here and feeling those lines coming close until you can sometimes hear the grass around you, but you can't actually see them other than on the monitor. And the younger one's following. There's the blind female you were asking about earlier. See her right eye. Sorry, Leishan. Now you can clearly see the light not reflecting out of that eye. Cindy, you were asking earlier. Big lioness though, look at her. Oh, she was looking at us there for a second. Going right past the front of the vehicle here. There's that connection there. On the prowl, on the hunt, what's going on with the light? Just a bit of a problem with the camera for the moment. Rex is trying to sort it out. There we go, on the one there you can see right next to us. Keep in mind we're on a very wide lens now, so it does look much further than it is. Take that into perspective. That's that connection, Rex. Just give it a bit of a wiggle at the back. So the young one's settling down. Thanks, Lisa Neville. Nice comment there saying that it took a law shoes maybe playing around with the camera. We've got a variety of Tokoloshe and Murphy's experiences with Wild Earth, but we do have a whole variety of electric equipment and broadcast equipment and transmitters and modulators and all kinds of things on here, and you can imagine with a vehicle that drives off-road a lot of the time and through the bush and all the things that the bush environment offers, it does present its own little technical challenges, but it seems good for now. And just a quick breakdown of this Pride again. It's the Styx Pride, STYX, and made of 7 lions, 3 adult lionesses, 3 sub-adult females, and one sub-adult male that somewhere in the next while will start to have to leave the Pride. And we also have a fan page on Facebook if you want to have a look at some more of that. Just give this one a little minute or so to walk on. The rest of the Pride have also settled down further to our left. Hello Selby, sitting on you for a long time. Selby's asking a few questions about the Pride. In terms of techniques I'll use, Selby just saying there's so few adults, 3 lionesses, what techniques they will use. Well, there's still enough for them to still use the advantage of numbers obviously, so if there is a hunt ensuing here at some stage, then you might have one lioness going out to the flanks and sort of maneuvers like that. And the younger ones, they'll start helping to hunt now. It won't be... probably more often foil the hunt than help it, but they're at that age now where they will start taking part in it more and more. This is actually awesome. If we were just following them with the spotlights, and we've hardly put any spotlights on them since way earlier when they were lying in the road. And I've seen a number of Impala little groups to the right of us, but I don't think the lions are going to go for them there. But if we were following them with conventional spotlights by now, they would have been given away. This they're not. We're not disturbing them. She's intent on something. It's not us. Where is she? Next to the left of us. Very close. I mean, she can't be more than what, 10 meters, 20 meters away. Look at that beautiful shape. They're such powerful animals, lions. Let's see, she's intent on something, either hearing something or maybe trying to hear something. Quite often, it's not so much about spotting things when you do, it's about preempting it. In other words, hearing a sound in the distance or picking up a scent and then starting to work around that information. Caroline, thank you very much. Leeson just saying you've posted a whole bunch of links there for information on the Styx Pride. Thanks a lot. And Cindy, I think, answered your question to an extent, Neville, but it is a question that people often ask, especially when they're still new with us. Oh, look at this, huh? Rex, how close is she? A few meters. Not even looking at us. She's difficult to say. As I was saying earlier, it does get a little bit eerie sometimes when you know, I can see from the angle of the camera that Rexon's holding and just the angle of the shot, actually, having looked at this monitor thousands of hours by now. You can see that she's close, but you can't actually see her. In fact, even past the humming of the gear on the vehicle, I can hear the grass moving. She's moving right behind Rexon there. It's the back end of the vehicle. Don't get dizzy, we've got to spin all the way around. Maybe they're heading up towards where those Impalas were. There you can see the antenna. That's the back right corner of the Jigga. So she's just, if we're facing 12 o'clock, she's at about 5 o'clock now. Yeah, she's moving that way. But yeah, Neville, just to quickly answer that question, as Cindy said, we don't actually travel armed with people. If you had guests with us, lodges, they have firearms on the vehicles, quite large, very large caliber rifles actually, you need those. But in our case, it's not required, and we use our experience and understanding and wit for weapons. Oh, brilliant, Selby. It's a bit of a more sort of along the side note there, but 87% for a school project is always a good thing. I'm sure you're very happy, and I'm wondering how many kids have used things they've shared and seen with us in Wild Earth as part of school projects. So we'll have a chat about it some other stage. I think they're looking at those Impala up there. As I said, I noticed a couple of groups of Impala as we were moving along. It didn't look like the lions were interested, but perhaps I didn't see them. And now they are. So let's see. Sabi, you were asking earlier at what stage do the younger lionesses start joining in the hunt? They're at that stage now where more and more often they'll be part of it, and within the next 6 months they will be part of the hunting group. So that group will actually go from 3 lionesses to 6 lionesses when it comes to the hunting. Is that the young male there, Rex? Looks like her. A little bit closer perhaps, the one standing in the back. Lioness, adult lioness sitting down, and behind her I think is the, yeah, that looks like the young male, the one that's standing there stretched out. Beautiful view here of the two of them. This is starting to, I don't want to build it up too much yet, but it certainly is starting to build into a hunting scenario, or possibly an attempt at a hunt. Yes, there's lots of insects tonight, Eric. He's driving through the grass here. It's swarms of them coming over us. That's one of the other benefits of infrared lights. Between Rex and myself, we've spent many hours and days and weeks and years on conventional night drives, and you'd always have to have the spotlight on. Some of the reserves I worked in, you did the spotlighting yourself, otherwise a tracker, but you end up getting covered in bugs because of the light attracting the insects. At least the infrared light, not much of that. Although I do sometimes at least some of the moth species do actually come and fly around because of the infrared light, but nothing like conventional lights. Rex, I'm just going to move a little bit. Can we maybe just, I don't want to use any lights now. Can you show me a forward view on the wide angle? We can just drive in that light. Cool. Just a little bit more. You can just, don't worry about me now, just the road, so I can see a little bit. Yeah, like that. Don't worry, I'm just going to be looking like I'm glowing a bit, but try and use the spotlight as little as possible. Try and get a little bit further up ahead. And we've moved away from the lines now for a little bit, so around for the moment. The Impalas were moving a little bit already. There you can see the line there in the distance. Now this is on the wide angle, but I'm not sure if the Impalas maybe picked up a bit of a scent or something, but there seems to be some alertness. Also know the Karula was around, so there's been lots of predator activity. But this is shaping up more and more into a... See these lionesses as well, just getting a little bit more excited, more rigidness almost in their muscles. Tensing the muscles more, it actually helps to start sort of fueling the muscles with more blood flow. It's almost just getting ready for it. If they do need to suddenly explode into a chase, then the muscles are sort of warmed up already. What a lovely shape, eh? So different from leopard. I mean, lions are very differently designed. Leopard are much more sleek and obviously size-wise quite different. Yeah, there you can see just in the shadows in the background, you can see another lion moving in the distance, and they obviously have spread out here a little bit. Now, depending on who you talk to and which research you're looking at and which guide you're talking to and private experiences people have had, you'll get a number of different varieties, and some people will tell you they know exactly how lions hunt, and some will tell you they know exactly how some lions hunt. And obviously there's different tactics in some lions relative to others. Terrain will play a big role. Lions hunting in open grassland will have slightly different tactics to lions in savanna, and certainly to lions in these thick parts that we have here. But there's some planning and some habit going into it, but there's also some just random luck aspects. So if these lions can spread themselves out enough and then chase a few of the impala around, it might just be that one is in such a position that when the impala start running everywhere, suddenly there's an opportunity. And there you can see there's movement. I heard a couple of barks here from impalas. They've obviously spotted one of the other cats. I don't even know where all of them are at the moment. They've all spread out. But there is a bit of a random element to the hunt. And obviously having the benefit of numbers, if you can spread yourself out and sort of infiltrate the area enough, once there's a bit of confusion and chaos going on, things running everywhere, then possibilities can suddenly appear as well. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens here. The Impalas that were closer to us have moved off. There was some alarm calling going on. I think we need to just go a bit forward. Let's try and reposition ourselves in terms of where we can look. Where's she going? Oh, that's a lovely view of her, huh? Stop here again for the minute. Let's see if we can spot anything. There should be somewhere to our right, Rex. More right. Further right, further right, further right. There somewhere. Here's the one-eyed lioness again. Okay. Say again. Ingwe. Oh, you can hear them. Further away. Okay, yeah. Rexon is saying you can hear him. I can start hearing it down here now as well. Sort of on the further side of quarantine, there's more calling again, and this very likely not because of the lions. So perhaps Karula is also moving around. So we might have quite possibly two of the big cats. Well, let's say two of the big cat species, but 8 of them in total. One of them being a leopard, hunting impalas here, different side of quarantine, and also a possibility, again not preempting too much, but just a possibility that could develop is you can imagine if suddenly Karula was to catch an impala and there's some noise around that, you might suddenly have the Styx pride all rushing over there as well. It's something that happens quite commonly actually. If lions are within earshot of a leopard making a kill, they would often respond quick enough to steal that kill from us. So that's also a possibility. We'll see what happens, see how it pans out. Quick look around again. There's a whole lot of impala running this way now, all the way from the other end of quarantine. So yeah, I think Rex, your ears are telling a lot of the story for us at the moment. Almost certainly something else on the other end of this area, not that far away in a straight line, maybe 300 meters, 400 meters at the most. And I could see some eyes moving this way. There's still alarm calls that side, definitely not related to the lions being here. So there's now another sort of element added into this evening that could play a role for the lions as well. So let's just suffice to say that I'm very happy we could sit here at the moment with a window into all of this, because potentially this could erupt into something quite dramatic around us. Not quite sure. Cindy's asking a question there. Look at that, lovely, just the one eye reflecting. Cindy asking how close do you have to get to really see? I'm not sure if you're referring to this now. Maybe you've just joined us in the last few minutes. At the moment this lioness is quite far away from us. She's probably 60, 70 meters away, 50, 60 yards. So she's on the very edge of the light's reach. But I'm sure earlier you could see that anything from about 40 meters and closer we can see very nicely. And then obviously we've had them already tonight a number of times within yards of the vehicle. I think, Rex, let's go to the other side a little bit. I'm going to come back here again. I'm not going to leave the lions for long because we don't want to lose them. I do want to follow them wherever they get to tonight. But I just saw those impalas running earlier. I just want to quickly go and have a look. See, there's impalas everywhere, all scattered out. I want to go have a quick look and see if we don't maybe spot the other disturbance, see if there wasn't a leopard around. We are literally in the middle of potentially various hunts now. There's lots of impala running. That must be something going on there. There you can see I don't know if you can see that. Loads of them running. They all came running from further away. Keep lights on them, but just have a quick look around. There's loads of impala. There's hundreds of them. Must be 200-300 impala in the area. There's also more here to our right. There's all over. Lots of little lambs, of course. There's more impala. Just having a look. I must say, in the last little bit, there's still stars. Less stars above us, so there's a little bit of moisture moving in. Yeah, now there's impala spread out all over, so that's another aspect to this now that... Oh, I think that could be the Ingwe, Rex. The one eye there in front. Oh no, it's also impala. There's some more impala running past. Oh, Rex, I saw a lion move there, straight ahead of us. A little bit far, it might be too far for the light. Just saw a movement, I don't even know if it was a lion, it was a cat. There's another one. Just move around the side here a bit. Always very difficult to move in such a way. I mean, it's something that people have become more and more cautious of, obviously, is to not try and interfere with the hunting whichever way. And I think more often, to be honest with you, again, you'll get different opinions from different people. I think more often the predators actually get disadvantaged than the prey species. I mean, in the older days, you could do certain things that really helped the predators. You could do certain things with the lights and the ways cars moved, and in the early days it wasn't even intentional. Later on it became intentional, maybe. I don't necessarily think it was wrong, certainly not at the time. And now these days obviously you want to interfere as little as possible, but I do think that these days more often than not the predators actually get a harder time than the predators. The prey get more help than the predators, so the predators have a harder time, but that's relative. And certainly using infrared lights is a huge step in the direction of becoming more and more non-interfering in the process. In fact, it's something that actually I know that many of the commercial lodges in future will use, and some of the leading commercial lodges in the near future will start experimenting with using the same thing we're using now. In other words, putting infrared monitors on their game drive vehicles, having infrared cameras, and for things like this, what we are part of at this moment, being in a hunt, they will use those tools as well, so that you don't have to use conventional lights. It's something that's just in the pipeline, but it will actually start being used, as I said, by some lodges probably as soon as over the next year or so. And I'm sure in a few years it'll be the trend in most lodges where this kind of technology will be employed to show people on the Land Rovers that come for safaris the exact experience we're using now. And there'll be lots of lessons learned in it and how to do so properly and so on, but it is fascinating. And I'd say our interference here at the moment is minimal, or marginal, maybe a better word. I've actually lost track now of where the lions are. They were earlier, I just briefly in the light glimpsed various lions running around all over. The impalas are all over the place now. The majority of them have run further south. There's almost certainly a leopard around here somewhere as well. So we need to just try and keep track of the story by being with something that's part of the process, whether it's a lion or an impala or a leopard. We'll just have to see what goes on. We will try and catch up with those lions again in a bit, but for the moment, if we stayed with them, sorry, we might have actually interfered more. That impala is very alert, as you can imagine. These impalas now know that there's something around. They don't know there's 7 lions. They maybe know there was a lion, or there are lions, or there was a leopard earlier. And you can see the way it's moving. Reasonably good night sight. Now keep in mind, I mean, no jokes. You could literally have a lion burst out somewhere there now and we wouldn't even know until we saw it. Although that impala is super alert. Look at those ears. It's flicking at insects now and again, but it really is listening, penetrating the dark more than its eyesight could. A very quick look around. Right there was something ahead of us there. Just check whereabouts. We get to our left somewhere, Rex. There. It's a young impala. What's that behind it? I see something else. Rex, if you look left and up a little bit, I just glimpsed other eyes. I didn't actually see what it was. There, right, and up and in. There, what's that? Ooh, that looks like a leopard. It's too far for our lights. We can only pick up the eyes. Yeah, there's the impala in the front. Let's keep an eye on this. Leishan also saying it looks like a leopard. She's got a better monitor, a bigger monitor. Say again, Rex. Let's try again. I can't see it now. It was somewhere there. Now this is going to be interesting if it moves. What do you think, Rex? Lion. Very difficult to see here. See if it comes close. It looks like it's facing, like I said, it's on the very far edge of our light now. But luckily for this young impala in the foreground, it looks to have been moving in the other direction. Now it was moving straight towards the young impala. Hyena. Well, that could be another aspect to consider. Lions are around, leopard was around, possibly hyenas would be following around, also looking for opportunity. We'll get an idea what that is just now. I don't want to move too much. Let's have a look at this little impala. If it's still standing there, Rex. Yeah. Standing dead still. You can see just the ears working. The ears all the time listening, scanning around. Now many of you might think that this impala is standing there terrified. It's not. Any animal that gets too terrified of its surroundings won't survive very long from an evolutionary point of view. It's just very alert. eyes are working as well as it can. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, this is very, very close. Look at that. The Impala has, I'm sure, seen them standing dead still. Difficult to judge the distance, but that lioness has just seen the Impala as well. Look at that. Keep in mind it's pitch dark around us at the moment. Just the infrared lights. Ooh, it's always a strange time. There's the predator and the hunter and all of us that cheer for the lions, but I know that when you get to this situation where now there's a vulnerable little Impala, there's also the caring side of all of us that suddenly cheer for the Impala. It's a bit of a difficult one to decide which side you're really on. That lioness has not seen that Impala. I thought she had, but she's walking right past. The Impala's main defense at the moment is standing dead still. Yes, I think let's stay on that Impala. Let's just see if it's going to stand its ground straight through all of this. We'll go a little closer maybe. Another lioness coming past. You can still see the eyes in the background of one. Oh, this Impala is going to be lucky. 3 lionesses walking right past it. Seems they're on the road now. Sure. Well, that Impala's learned a valuable lesson. Remain calm and often remain stationary and you'll be fine. It does also show us that those lions can see obviously much better than we can in the dark, but they can't penetrate the darkness with their eyes. They still need light, and they've literally just walked past a potentially easy kill there. And they're on the move again. Well, that was one lucky Impala. And Rev, I'm not sure, as I said, it's a pretty dark night and they can see better than we can. In fact, the lions can see better than the Impala can as well. So I think if we had to... A lot of bugs tonight, sorry, one just went down my back there. So yeah, I think they just simply didn't see it. It was standing dead still. It was against a dark background. There's nothing that would have skylined it or silhouetted it. Onto the road here for now. And no, they just didn't see it. Impala was brave enough or wise enough or true to its instinct enough to just stand dead still. It didn't make a noise. If it was moving suddenly, the lions would have heard it. They would have responded to the noise. But yeah, just right on the road, Rex, I think. Just thought I saw, yeah, there they are further ahead of us. I'm going to just move a little bit closer. Here's the pride again. Close to us now. That's the young male. You can see that bit of fluff around the neck. It's hot here. It's like a stifling air around us. It's still rain later tonight. These lions looks like they might just be moving on a bit. Yeah, no, certainly I could share the sentiments of many of you. It was a very exciting experience there with the Impala and the lions being so close. Peggy just asking how close. I think Peggy, it's difficult to say exactly because of the perspective. And as I said, it really gets a bit disorientating almost sometimes sitting in pitch dark and just looking at a window. Rexon is behind the camera. You've got a point of where the camera is pointing and the angle you're holding it, so it gives you a bit more of a perception. But sitting here, I'm seeing pretty much exactly what you guys are. But looking at the size and the scale of everything, I would say that they walked past that Impala. My guess would have been originally maybe closer, but I'd say between 10 and 20 meters. Let's say 20 meters, maybe 15, 20 meters from the Impala. About 15, 20 yards, somewhere in that region. I think the lions have moved on. There's lots of Impala to our right, but no activity. And now I don't want to move the lights around too much, just to get a general idea of where we are. We'll go around the side a bit more. I think what we're going to do. Thanks, Lishan. Sounds like the Jiga is full. Yeah, this is very exciting stuff. This is one of those very primal sometimes. And if we do see a hunt and we do see a kill tonight, I can promise you it will affect many of you on an emotional level. Not bad, but there is something very primal in lions killing their food. We used to do it not so long ago ourselves. We still do it. We just don't think about it so much when we go to the supermarket. But anyway, different conversation. This could be a very interesting night. Now we're coming into the herds of Impala again. All they've done is move to the southern side of quarantine. They're not going to go into the thick bush because that'll become more difficult for them. So I think what we should do is come and sit on this side. And like we did earlier, is almost just sit here and wait and almost put ourselves more in the camp and in the side of the Impalas and then see what develops from there, Rex. So I think we've got a reasonable open area to our left now. We'll just sit here and see what might develop from now. Rex is going to scan around a bit and look for us. He'll be our eyes. There's Impala now. The way I've positioned us now is we're now sitting roughly on the opposite side of these Impala from where the lions were coming. So if the lions continue south, they'll be heading our direction roughly. If the lions continue southeast, they might actually miss us and the Impala, but I'm hoping we'll be able to catch up with them. But alternatively, it might well be that they head this way towards where these Impalas are. So rather than moving with the lions or the Impalas, I want to put us slightly sort of off the back and to the side of where the activity might be. Thanks, Lishan. Yeah, Robert, certainly a bit more tension might well be added, but there's plenty of it around already. Nice to hear from you again, Robert. It's been a while since you've been chatting to us a lot on the drive. And then Cindy's asking, and it's a very valid question, is there no chance of the animals running into the Jiga? Oh, sorry, thanks, Lishan. Connie was asking that. Sorry, all the names and excitement, and I'm still trying to orientate myself as to where those lions might be at the moment. Yeah, certainly that's quite a beautiful picture. The leaves in the top. We're just looking underneath the tree here towards those Impala. There's a bit of alertness again. Look at that. Their heads are up. Maybe these lions are getting closer. Connie, just quickly to answer that, because it might... Oh, there's a first alarm call. We might have exactly what you're talking about happening around us. The chance of them running into the Jiga, if we have spotlights on, is much higher because those lights will influence their sight. But with this infrared lights, it's dark. They can see the Jiga, and the chance of them running into the Jiga is about the same as the chance of them running into a tree. So it's not impossible, but unlikely if we don't have any major lights on. There they're running. The lions must be somewhere here. Quick look around. We'll go a little bit forward, Rex, just so we get ourselves a bit closer to where the activity could be. Orientating ourselves. We're on the sort of southeastern part of quarantine now. There's a nice big dead tree here to our left that we often look at in the mornings for sunrise and so on. Just see our field of view. We've got a reasonable field of view now. Let's have a look here towards our left again. Basically, in that area over there is where these impalas are all spread out, and somewhere behind them, I think, are where the lions are at the moment. If you look a bit more to the left, Rex, just look around a little bit. The impalas will see they've moved again very quickly. Yeah, in front of us we've got more movement. More impalas coming past. As I said, they all know there's something around. Just moving past here now. I'm not sure where. There they're going to the right, a bunch of them. Oh, Rex, just there a little bit. Something coming. I just saw an eye. Somewhere there I saw something. Not sure where now. Oh, that's an impala. See if we can maybe get a bit of an idea of where these lions are again. There's more impala everywhere. There's more impala. There's another impala. Ooh. Sydney, welcome. Also someone that's on drive for the first time. You've joined a very, very exciting time to join us. Many people are on the edge of their seats at the moment, as are we. Both Rex and myself, we've done this a long time, and every time you're in the middle of a hunt like we are at the moment, it's very exciting. There's something very exhilarating about it. I think I just glimpsed a lion again. I don't want to use the lights much, but there's impalas here around us. And if we can't show you all the details, there's one impala there to the left there a little bit, Rex. One female. I think I just brushed one of these. Must have been hundreds of insects were now climbing over me. Now I brushed them off, but one of them was a stink bug. One of a strong scent around us now. Sydney, but yeah, as I was saying sorry, just a bit of a strange radio message there. Anyway, but there's a lot of happening around us at the moment. So I just got distracted there by a strange radio voice. But these lions are moving around. They are on the hunt still. They haven't given up. There are impalas now everywhere spread out. As I said earlier, part of the tactics, especially for lions, I mean it could work for a leopard as well, but for lions hunting in groups, if they could create enough confusion and enough sort of confusion is the best word really, but scatter the impalas enough, break up the structures of the herds enough, then their possibilities become more random, but certainly more frequent as well. So what is that in the distance? Lightning or spotlights? Lightning. We've got a storm coming slowly as well. Still can see clouds towards the east, but no stars towards the east, but no stars above us and to the west. There you could see some lightning behind the impala. So there's everything that adds into the drama now. Lions hunting a leopard somewhere that we could hear the alarm calls from earlier, possibly a leopard. Very nervous impala there. Now again, at any second, as I said, I just briefly glimpsed it, but I'm sure there were some lions basically on the far side from this impala to us now. We already had that a little bit earlier. For those of you that have just joined us in the last few minutes, I don't even know what the time is, I've lost track there a bit, but 10-15 minutes ago we watched 3 of the lionesses, or was it 4 now? 3 I think, that walked right past the young Impala, 10-20 yards away from it. The Impala just stood dead still like a statue, and the lions walked right past it. So there's been a few I'm getting excited now, sorry, my tongue is getting tired. There's been a few close shaves already, a few close situations. That Impala just running off, some instinct there warning her. Well, more questions coming in. Ginny and Matt, just to touch on some of the sensory aspects of this hunt. Lions, I wouldn't say have got better sense of smell than hounds. As good maybe. I mean, it's also different how they use that scent. Basically, the reason they didn't smell that Impala standing around earlier is there would be Impala scents everywhere now. There's been Impala running around all over the place. The lions have scattered them. So in terms of fresh scent of Impala that's been walking and running around, that's everywhere now. So that's not going to help them. Unless the breeze specifically was blowing towards the lioness that they could smell, there's an Impala close by. That would have helped. But there's no breeze. There's literally, it's just this sort of muggy heat around us. And eyesight wise, Matt, who's got the better sight? I'd say in the darkness the lions have got a slight edge over the Impala, not a very big edge, but they do have an edge. Big lightning coming in as well. We're going to have a storm here before we know it. There I just spotted a lion in the distance. There's Impala still around, so I think let's just catch up to these lions again a little bit. Sit here, rough gauge. I just saw some eyes. So let's just stop here for now and see if they head roughly into our direction. Rex, I think somewhere up here, sort of, I'm not sure where, but we should find them. There. Quite a nice picture actually. If we go up a little bit, it's just that bit of tree again framing it. Look at that. Still in the shadows. We're going to sit here and hopefully these lions will move towards us. That's the way they are heading, so we might get a close-up look at them again. It's quite nice actually moving around from the prey side to the predator side and seeing the different aspects. So you can see these lions, they're just crisscrossing. They're now heading in a different direction. They're just moving around, and I think, can't guarantee it obviously, but I'd say there's a very good chance that somewhere during the course of the night, if not in the next 5 or 10 minutes, somewhere in the next hour or two, or certainly during the course of the evening, they may actually, or very likely, will have a successful hunt here. There are in excess of 200-300 Impalas running around the place, so it's just a matter of at some stage or another there's going to be a little one like we saw earlier, or an adult somewhere that doesn't get the lions walking past it, but where the lions see it. So let's say the drama is on the horizon, the same as the lightning at the moment, getting more frequent towards our west. There we go, they're going to come into this open. I've stopped in a clearing here, so we should, if we're lucky, see a beautiful view of them moving around us now. That's one of the adult lionesses. You can see sniffing, just dipping the nose there. Let's come back to that question earlier, Jenny, about scent. Sight as well, Matt, there you can see how they're looking around, and she is looking towards where they are Impala. Now, to be honest with you, I don't think she could see them over there. They're about 40 meters behind us, 40-50 meters at the most. The lioness is about 30 or so in front of us, so there's about a 70-80 yard gap between us and between the Impalas and the lionesses. I think it's too dark for her to really see them there, but she knows they're there. She heard them running earlier, she saw them moving, she's done this a few times before in her life. And Jenny was just saying, as she was walking, now and again you can see the nose dipping down, picking up some scent. But at the moment, to track an animal by scent won't help her. There's Impala scent everywhere now. So unless she physically walked and suddenly heard a twig break and sniffed around and there was an Impala lying in the grass, that might help. But being stationary, the first rule of camouflage Just don't move. Oh, she's nice and close to us, Rex. Look at how beautiful they're built. So look at the sleekness of the body, the design, the shoulders, massive shoulders. Lions are very powerful. Obviously the shoulders and the legs important not just for chasing but for grabbing the prey as well. Also got these floating collarbones, which is from the sort of the design side quite cool. It means that they can really stretch those arms wide open, or the legs wide open if they grab something. Incredibly powerful animals. We can't really fathom the strength these animals have in their shoulders and legs. Yeah, she's listening again. Just the way she moved there, you could see very carefully. No fast movement. She's lying down, but didn't slop down. She didn't make noise. Also at the moment the grass is very wet. It's green grass. It's been raining. It's early summer. There's not a lot of twigs and sticks and things that snap and break. So movement is relatively hushed. Actually, have a quick look. I think the others should be following her. Let's see if they're not behind. Do you think the rest of the pride weren't far behind? Lesions, sorry, I didn't catch that properly. Connie was asking if they made a kill, would Karula come and inspect, or was that it? Sorry, I was just looking at the same time. Yeah, pleasure, Jenny. Always nice to have questions, especially when they around and involving what's happening at this moment. Connie, if the question Connie's asking, if Karula and the boys, now for those of you that don't know who Karula is leopard female that we get to see very often. We're very lucky and know her quite well. She's got 2 young male cubs of just over a year old, and we strong suspicion that either all 3 of them, or at least Karula, the female leopard, is in the area as well. She was walking past camp this morning. We saw her tracks earlier today walking. And earlier the Impalas were making alarm calls on the northern side of quarantine, separate from what the lions were doing. So, oh, look at that. A little bit out of our lights range, but you can see they're coming closer. That's the rest of the group. Beautiful, huh? But yeah, Connie, so if Karula and the boys, or Karula made a kill, and the lions heard it, in other words, if the animal made a noise while it was getting killed, which normally animals do, then those lions would respond instantly. In fact, if they were busy stalking something, they'd even give up that stalk and go and investigate instantly to what the noise is, because they could steal that food easily, and would steal it from Karula if she didn't take it up a tree quick enough. So that is a possibility, as I said earlier, one of the dramas that could unfold, a small possibility, but one that's there nonetheless, is that these lions could suddenly bolt up and run towards where there's something else making a kill. Although the most likely one at the moment does look like, if we stick with them long enough and if there's enough opportunity, they might grab one. This is actually where we're sitting at the moment. We're within 10 yards of where, I can't even remember when it was, earlier this year sometime. We had a kill, and Herman and I actually saw it live, and we had a big thing. Many of you will remember. We didn't have people on the vehicle or in a view on the vehicle at the time. We were all holding on. There was a big live link to Microsoft in Seattle, to one of their conference rooms about something we do. And a lot of things happened, but the actual kill, we saw and heard it right next to us. It was where we are sitting now. And then we joined there soon afterwards, and then luckily through fate we could bring everyone else on the vehicle as well, which was quite cool. And we just saw the aftermath of it. But the kill itself happened 10 yards away from where we're sitting at the moment. It was an absolute awesome sight. That's quite a few months ago. Maybe repeated tonight. Almost certainly, if they do hunt tonight in this area, it will be Impala. Impala, just to give you a perspective for those of you from that haven't been to Africa, or maybe haven't been on that many drives, Impala is an antelope of sort of medium size, very much the same size, maybe slightly bigger than a white-tailed deer. So for 7 lions like we have here, It's not a massive kill. Enough that they all get a good bite from it, but it's not something that'll keep them for long. They might have to hunt 2 or 3 impalas tonight to really satisfy them. And they're quite hungry. Earlier looking at them, they're looking quite lean. I'd say they haven't eaten something properly for probably 4 or 5 days or so. So they will make a hunt, so they will make a kill tonight. At some stage, it might be in the next minutes, it might be towards sunrise. Thanks, Corin. Corin's saying that the Styx pride have actually killed a number of leopards a few years ago. They've been notorious for it. Yeah, that's always a possibility. Hoping it won't be in our case. I think Karula is a wily one. So are the boys. It is something that can happen and does happen. And Sally is asking if these lions have got a favorite food. Oh, look at that. It's a nice surprise. One close to us. Sally, yes, lions have got a favorite food. Meat. I'm just kidding. Leishan did relay the rest of the question, Sally. I'm just playing along there a little bit. Sally was asking specific prey species, and it's a question that comes through often. I wouldn't say a favorite. There are certain prey species that they favor in terms of hunting techniques. The mapojos, for instance, and most big male coalitions of large males and large prides will hunt buffalo quite a lot. Obviously a large meal, a large reward. Some prides get very good at hunting giraffe. The Styx pride, partly because there's not that many of them, partly because they don't associate themselves with the males as often as some prides do. Even when they were more sort of normal times prior to the mapojos, the Styx pride have always been pretty much in their own. I remember seeing them early 2000s when I was guiding around here as well, and they were always by themselves, and they typically hunt medium to largish antelope. So impala would be a large part of their diet, and then kudu, waterbuck, nyala now and again, but I'd say probably 70%, if not more, of what they eat, this pride specifically, would be impala and kudu, wildebeest, although there's not that many wildebeest up in the parts where they move around, and then spatterings of waterbuck and so on in between. To the left now. So it's strange to have a perspective, because I know I've said it a number of times. There they are all lying down now. Keep in mind I can see only what you're seeing at the moment as well. There's not absolute darkness around us. I can see the tree line outlined against what is almost permanent lightning in the distance now. Slowly coming closer, but it's still far away from us, so nothing for us to worry about at the moment. In terms of what's going on the ground around us, can't see anything except for this infrared window. There's one here just to our left, you see. Just had a quick squiz around, and there's one lioness quite close to us to the left, these two that we're looking at here, and there's also impalas not far away towards our left. There, the younger lionesses, you can see a bit more sort of slimmer still, not quite as big in body shape or body frame yet. It's amazing, the impala, I haven't seen them yet. The impalas are only from the lioness closest to those impalas 50 yards at the most. A little bit of relaxing, but these lions are moving slowly, and I don't think they're fully aware of the impalas, but they are aware that the impalas are somewhere that side. we just sit tight for the moment. Well, thank you very much, Alan and Ilana. I'm very happy that you could join us for the drive tonight. Difficult when you think back to the year, and it obviously happens a lot towards the end of the year. You reflect back, but it feels like only a few weeks or a few months ago that we met you at Aretusa. It was nice seeing you there, and hope to see you again next year. I know you guys come out every so often. And as much as we're in a bit of a lull at the moment, and these lions are looking very relaxed, as we can see there. Oh, look at those two. There's a nice bit of interaction, a bit of grooming. But they are very much on the hunt, and I think quite soon might be again, if these younger ones don't start getting playful and make noise. There's Impalas not far from us to the left. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them there now. Rex, can we have a quick look at this one here to the left, see if she's still around. I just glimpsed her earlier. Yeah, there she is. That's one of the adult lionesses. And I think she's got an ear or maybe even an eye on those impalas. Can you see the impalas? Go further left still. Can you see them? Rex can just make out the impala. There is some more. There is some that you can see a bit clearer. So at the moment, everyone's just sitting tight, including us. Lishna, I don't know if there were 2 questions earlier. If I skipped one, please remind me. There's lots going on at the moment, even though it's waiting for now. Well, a question there from a new name for us on the vehicle. Always nice to hear new names as well. And if I remember, or if I pronounce your name correctly, so it's Kwan, asking if male and female lions hunt together. And this is actually an interesting topic. Maybe let's discuss that for a little bit, because it's a very, very typical misconception that a lot of people have, not just on other continents, even people living in Africa, even people that go to game reserves, have this perception that male lions do nothing. They sleep the whole day and they just steal the food from the lionesses, and the lionesses do all the hunting. And it really is a misconception or misnomer, maybe. I'm not sure if that's exactly the right way of explaining it, but and to a large extent created by earlier documentaries. Documentaries have done a huge amount of very, very positive things for wildlife, outweighing by far the negative. But there's also been some misconceptions that's been created over time, with sometimes the urge to write a good story being stronger than actually telling the story that's happening. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about Wild Earth, is that we're just sharing in what's happening. You can make your own choices as to what you experience, and something I think is quite cool, but that's a different topic. That conception or perception, I guess, that male lions don't do much hunting is not true at all. Even once they are dominant and have prides, male lions will still do a lot of their own hunting. And it depends a lot on the pride dynamics as well. There she's smelling something. There's just the tiniest breeze that just picked up. I can actually feel it myself. And it's coming from sort of behind us. So maybe enough to just give her a bit of a scent of those impalas. This specific pride, let's maybe bring it back to the Styx pride for now. Kwan very seldom, if ever, do they hunt with lions. I'm sure that they do sometimes hunt with the males, but typically they hunt by themselves. And especially lately with the mapochos and everything that's going on around that, they pretty much avoid those males. But you do get some other prides where the males and females will hunt together quite a bit. Pilanesberg, I've seen that a number of times. We've got a coalition of males with one specific pride of females, and every so often they'll hunt together. And then quite a lot of the time the females and males might hunt separate from each other. In other words, the lionesses, like we have here, will make a kill. The males might join them at some stage and take that kill from them, or steal it from them, or not even just share it. But the males also spend a lot of their time away from the pride, patrolling territories and marking and scent marking and keeping the area safe from other males and so on. And in that time will often make their own hunts, and sometimes they'll make their own hunts and the lionesses might join them as well. So there really is a massive variation in who hunts, how they hunt, where they hunt, who shares with who. I've seen occasions where males have made a kill, lionesses have joined, and the males have even sort of let the cubs and lionesses feed. Fair enough, they had fair enough amount of food already in their own stomachs, but there was no issue with sharing. So it does really vary quite a bit depending on the prides and depending on the situation day to day. But both male and female lions, both lion and lionesses, do hunt. Male lions from the age of 2 until about 5, before they become dominant, have to do all their own hunting because they're not part of a pride. So yeah, there's a lot of variations on who hunts when. What are those other ones doing, Rex? Quick look there, see if they... Oh, there's another stink bug somewhere. And they moved. Wow. Oh. Sorry, this one is actually burning my skin now. This is some bad bug that I just touched. Sure. Joys of summer. Oh, that sounds good. I just got hungry. Peggy's saying we're interrupting all her baking. From the sound of what Leishan explained there, everything from oat snaps to banana bread and in between. Sounds like you've got a lot to bake, Peggy, but I think you could maybe knee some of the dough and get some of the mix ready, but don't put it in the oven, because as much as these lions are sleeping at the moment, they could go into hunt mode any second again, and then time does change a bit. Sometimes a hunt can last for 2 minutes and it feels like a long time, or it can last for an hour and it feels like it was 5 minutes. So I think once you've got stuff baking in the oven, you don't want lions hunting because it'll distract you. Speaking of something being in the oven, Leishan and myself will have to be baking cookies as well next week. We're also going to bake Christmas cookies. Food, how easily we go onto the subject of food, which is very much one of the main subjects these lions would talk about now if they could. It's amazing the patience they have. I mean, these impalas not far from here. They created enough havoc and confusion earlier with moving around, and now it's almost as if they're happy just to settle down and wait, rest a little bit, conserve energy a little bit. But also in that time, all these impalas are getting more relaxed again, and that very, very sort of high alert that they had earlier will be a little bit subdued. They might move around a little bit. The impalas might move closer to the lions unknowingly. So it's not a bad tactic. Conserve a bit of energy and just sort of see what opportunities present itself. There's a bit of a breeze again. You can see how they're sniffing. You can actually feel it. It's quite nice and cooling. There's heads up. And we're going to have a storm tonight at some stage. Hopefully it breaks here as well. Still beautiful lightning, far away lightning, high lightning, but all the way west and southwest of us. There's a bit of activity again. You can see the noses are up. Posture's more alert. Slow breeze coming along now. I think it's on the outward edges of whatever is causing that storm further away. A little bit of a stirring in the air, which is quite nice. Hyenas calling in the distance. Quan, another question. What's the daily activity for lions other than hunting? Lions actually can sleep anything up to and around 18-20 hours a day. So a large part of their activity is just sleeping. Or maybe not sleeping is maybe the wrong word. Inactive. Resting, not doing much. Waiting. A bit like Chuck Norris. They never sleep, they just wait. Swimming, not really big with them. It has been seen there are lion prides in parts of Africa that do swim. There's even lions that will use swimming as part of their hunting tactics. But typically speaking, they're not too fond of water. These lions certainly not. You're not going to see them walking and swimming in water often. Ever. Playing a bit if it's younger lions. Eating if they have made a hunt. And sometimes they could take 2 or 3 days, 4 or 5 days even, depending on the carcass, to finish the food. And then of course there's sporadic things in between, mating now and again, fighting. For the male lions especially, a lot of their activity will be scent marking and patrolling, so walking the boundaries of the area that they're dominant in, and roaring and scent marking, leaving urine scents everywhere, and different secretions, all part of an important scent boundary essentially, or barrier that they put around the area, and that can take a lot of energy and time. So male lions typically, if you had to compare, again depends a lot, it's a variation quite a lot on area and terrain and other lion prides and activity and competition, but typically male lions cover, let's say over a 1 week or 2 month or 1 month period of time, or extended period of time, they cover more ground than females. They do a lot more walking and moving around. But yeah, hunting is probably their main thing that they do most frequently. Playing if they're young, and social interaction as well. They're actually very social animals. A number of times a day and during the night when they're moving, like we saw a little bit earlier, there'd be very, very nice interaction between them in the pride, grooming each other and cleaning each other and playing and lying on top of each other. Very, very strong social bonds that exist in these prides. So that's also a big part of their day. Thanks, Leishan. So just repeat that name for me again. Didn't quite catch it. Thanks, Leishan. Varu. Glad you enjoyed that joke. We've got some, I'm sure as everywhere around the world, we've got some good Chuck Norris jokes. I think there's probably a number of comparisons one could draw between Lions and Chuck Norris, because they're obviously both quite hardcore. But one of the things that certainly is a difference between them is that Lions never sleep with their bedside lamps on like Chuck Norris does. As we all know, I'm sure, of course, Chuck Norris sleeps with the bedside light on, not so much because he's afraid of the dark, but more because the dark's afraid of him. Lions, on the other hand, they're just lions.
We're all laughing with you.
Thanks, Leishan. As long as you're laughing with me, not at me. At me is also right, so I don't mind. Whoa! The sun just came up. Just wiggle that back again, Rex. It's the funny things of this camera. Oh, what's going on? Something's moving. Just wiggle that connection a bit. There we go. Oh, good. Suddenly there's movement. She's looking at something. That's towards where the Impalas were roughly. Shall I turn a bit, huh? Just turn a little bit before Rex ties himself in a knot there. Oh, there's another one moving in the distance as well. It seems they've started moving. It's the adults moving now. The young ones I could just briefly glimpse in front of us. They're still just lying down again. If we have a look, I think in front of us there's some moving as well. Yeah, they're catching up as well. Sorry about this, it's very much a Mad Max rig. I think many of you would, if you know something about cameras, would have a very interesting chuckle at the cameras we use for the night. It's a really contraptions, not the easiest thing to work and sometimes a bit tricky, but look at that, lovely. You can see the difference there in shape and size. The younger cat in the back. Well, it seems they've had their little break, their little rest. The Impalas have had time to settle down a bit. Now they're going to move around again, see what opportunity might present itself now. We had a number of close calls earlier. Let me move a little bit, make it easier. You also. there's some Impala. They're moving off in that direction. It's an interesting email there from Matt. Just have a look. I think the lines are off to our left now. Yeah, so Matt, I've certainly learned that lesson many times and experienced it along the way with guiding. Matt was just saying his dad always told him to be a gentleman. You never talk about politics and religion. And I can tell you, Matt, you might as well add the subject of hunting onto that list as well. But over time, it's always aspects to think of and discuss. And I'm not quite sure what that email was about. I presume maybe Chuck Norris might have touched a bit on politics for some people. Yeah, these cats are on the move again. Yeah, they're just beautiful. I reckon lions that move like that, there's just something about the shape of them. It's just gorgeous. A little bit further away from us at the moment. I try not to be too close to them just because I don't want to attract too much attention to them by attracting attention to us, but we're off to their side at the moment. What I'm going to do is I can see roughly where they're heading to, so I'm just going to do a bit of a look around quickly, scout the area. There's a couple of Impalas there and there all around. There's another group. This is also now getting more towards the sort of northern part of quarantine of this area, so this is potentially where there was a leopard around earlier, so not a definite but just a potential thing to keep in mind. Let's grab a seat just here for the moment. There's a group of Impalas here towards our left. Now we're off to the side basically of both where the lions and the Impalas were, so if something does develop around you, look at that lovely lightning in the background. We're watching this now from the sort of the side field rather than behind the goalposts of either side. The lions would be further away to the southeast from us now, to the left of those Impala somewhere. You can see that lightning in the background just lighting up the sky every so often. What's that there, Rex? Is that a lion? Oh no, it's not, so it's a little speck. Is it? Yeah, still a bit far for the lights, but let's see. Impala's very alert there. I'm just going to go a little bit forward. Look at that, you can see the lions in the background if you look very carefully. Can we go closer than that? Yeah, if you look there carefully, there you can see the eyes. That's the lions right behind there. Still a big distance. Those lions need to get within 10-20 yards to have a good chance. But again, there's 7 of them. They spread out. A little bit of luck, one impala running in the wrong direction, and an opportunity is there. The impalas obviously are very alert as well. They've now had a busy evening already with lions and potentially leopard in the area. Here's the male. Now, male impala might be a bit big for female leopards like a ruler, but lionesses for the Styx pride, not a problem, even with those sharp horns. Although every now and again a horn does find a spot, and even lions don't have impenetrable hides, so it's not the easiest thing. People always think that lions or predators walk around and decide, oh well, tonight I feel like an impala. It's not like that at all. It's very hard work to get close enough for a hunt, and even in the process of hunting there's still holes that you could fall in, and sticks you could trip over, and horns that could hit you, and hooves that could kick you in the eye. I mean, that lioness with a blind eye, who knows what caused that? It could have been a fight, it could have been a hoof from an impala. A variety of things that can go wrong. So it's by no means an easy feat for a lion to go and catch food. Thanks, Leishan. Interesting grouping here, actually. You can see they're just briefly racing, seeing a little lamb there. There's this big male to the right, a young male to the left. There's females. So it also shows you now that from all the activity earlier, the structures of these herds really have been broken up. There's little groups of impala everywhere around now, grouping together where they can, just safety in numbers, obviously. But little groups of impala everywhere now. Andra just asking. Sure. I knew the question when I started that sentence. Leishan, just give me a keyword there again, please. Yeah, that was it. Andra, I wouldn't say they have to go through this every night. Just asking there basically if this is something impalas have to go through all the time, every night. It seems like they get hunted a lot. Yeah, it certainly does. And certainly around here. I mean, keep in mind also that this is quite a large open area we refer to as quarantine. It's just a name for an area. It's not. It's a historic name for it. And therefore lots of impala sleep and stay on here. There's this herd of impala that pretty much live around here in summer season when they've got their lambs. It's a safe area. It would have been much more dangerous for them if the grass was thick and there was lots of bush around. So as you can see, their X is showing around a bit. That's the kind of terrain. So it's actually not a bad terrain for the impala. It means they can detect predators easier. But of course, if you're in one place every night, if there's 200-300 impala there every night, then the predators will also come and try their luck here every so often. Alternatively, they could walk for 2, 3, 4 hours and not really get an opportunity to hunt something. So it's a bit of a benefit that goes both ways. You can see the lightning through the background there. Big lightning storm much further south and southwest of us. Lines move past, eh? Yeah. Just have a very quick squiz here with the spotlight. Yeah, it looks like the lions have moved past this group. So let's just cover a bit of ground again, see if we can catch up with them. Now, hyenas were also calling earlier towards the western side from us, so maybe they responded to that. Lucky group of impalas. Yeah, the lions have moved past. Can't even see them now. So they've obviously didn't see that group. Oh, is that it? See what I mean with time flying when you're hunting. We've been out here 2 hours already. I'm going to stick with them a bit more. Loads of impalas that way as well. More impalas. There's a tree. Watch out for that one. Oh, there we go. On the road. On the road again. Hey? Flat tire. We've got a flat. Okay, well, we're not going to change it right now. Check if you can see, Rex. Is it flat? Is it? Well, let's stay off for a couple more minutes. We might have to move at some stage. Is it still alright to drive on, Rex?
I think.
Not. Alright. Let's have a bit of a look. Let's see. The line is just in front of us here. There we go. You can't drive on that tire too much longer. It's quite flat. You can see the other lioness further down the road. The lionesses have decided to take a little rest again for the moment. Yeah, we're not going to be changing the tire at the moment. I was actually considering that, but that would just be too much disruption and possible interest as well for the lions. Sorry, just a bug there. So we'll sit for a little bit more. If it gets too flat, we might have to change it further back to camp or head back to camp for it. But for the moment, let's just sit and see what happens. Jeanette asking for that sort of the final charge, the final grab of the hunt where the lions use sight or scent. I think pretty much by that time it's 90% sight. They're actually looking at grabbing the animal and so on. Scent plays a role, but it's not, scent plays a role, I'd say, more prominently in other aspects of lion behavior other than hunting. Well, Peggy is still on drive with us as well. When you speak about the babies, Peggy saying she didn't see any babies or many babies. I presume you're talking about the Impalas. A lot of the little lambs, I saw them earlier being moved off in various little groups with females, but also a lot of them will just lie down in the grass and rely to a large extent on not being detected. And then Sheila, certainly been a pleasure. I'm sure we all enjoyed this evening. It's been a phenomenal one. With these lions, lots of activity. And thank you for the Christmas wishes. Same to you from myself, Rex and Leishan and everyone at camp. Mark here tonight. Patrick will be back again in the morning, and it's that time of year when we can all wish each other Merry Christmas and Happy New Year all the time. It seems we're ending off with a lot of activity here towards the end of the year. Rex, I just have a quick look at that tire again. Let's have one last look at these lines. The tyre is almost too flat to drive. I think we can drive on it very slowly still. Might actually have to head back soon. Let's just see what they get up to. Looks like they're going to get active. We'll make a plan. Otherwise, maybe we should leave them to their night and come and see in the morning. That's what their plans are. Wait and see. Sorry, we're still in. Well, I think perhaps, heads up again. I was just going to say perhaps we should let sleeping lions lie. Considering the circumstances, we should get back to camp and sort this tire out as well. But let's just see. Heads just popped up. Maybe something's moving. Another hot day tomorrow, maybe some rain behind it. I'm still thinking we might get rain tonight. Although that storm seems to be a little bit far away from us. That's good, thanks Lucian. There's a bit of social bonding there. Lucian is saying we've got a 95% chance of thunderstorm tonight, so it's a pretty good chance. I never quite understand the percentage predictions for rain, you know. Again, maybe because I'm grew up in desert and semi-desert environments, you know, you always the idea of, 1% chance of rain is quite good, but the 95% chance means there's a 5% chance of it not raining. Now, if it was a 5% chance of rain, we'd say it's almost certainly not going to rain. So therefore, maybe a 5% chance of not rain means it almost certainly will rain, which I guess is 95% of chance of rain, meaning exactly that. But they should just say 50% every day, really. Either rains or it doesn't. It seems they've gone back to sleep for the moment. Now there are still loads of impala spread out all around this area, and maybe not in the immediate future because they might just do what they did earlier and just take it easy for a little while. They've just basically repositioned themselves quietly. They haven't disturbed anything, so at the moment none of the impala in this whole area know where these lions are. All the impala expect there are lions around, they don't know where they are. So repositioning themselves, they can now wait a little bit, and then maybe the impalas move a bit, maybe the breeze changes, or maybe something comes along that creates an opportunity again for them. They're also at the moment in a very good position in that they're on the road, so if they had to move a little bit up or down the road, they could move so quite easily without making noise. There's no sticks and grass and things to move through. Excuse me. Thanks, Wix. And I do think we should leave them be, let them rest, let them have an opportunity to hunt maybe later in the night. Tomorrow morning first thing there'll be an interesting drive because we might find them in the area on a carcass. We might find leopard around, who knows what's going to happen around here tonight. I think for the moment we're going to leave them be though. You'll stay with us, we're going to just limp back towards camp. The tyre has just got enough air in it that we should be able to make it back. Now we can leave the Styx Pride. Let's just have a look there to make quickly that tire. Let's see if we can drive like that. Hey? It's flat. What do you think, Rick? Should we change it now? Not yet. Yeah, no, I agree. So it's quite flat, but we're gonna. Yeah, these tires they've got very strong sidewalls. I think if we just drive slowly. Spider webs. Well, I don't think I need to say too much about that. It was an absolutely exciting evening. It's the kind of thing that we hope for every night drive, really. Being amidst a group of lions hunting and impalas and who knows what else was around tonight. We heard hyenas. Is that water? Lots happening, and I'm sure lots more will happen during the course of the night. Covered in bugs. Every now and again I feel another bug crawling around in my clothes somewhere. And tomorrow morning, as I said, we must have a look early morning, see what's around, and I'm sure we might find some more signs of these cats. So these impalas have settled down already. They're lying down again, so slowly more and more of them are getting more relaxed again, and then in the next couple of hours those lions will have a fairly good opportunity or chance again to make a successful hunt. Other than that, maybe a thunderstorm tonight, so it could be a beautiful morning in that respect as well. And I think on that note, I'm going to say goodnight. It's been an awesome night. thank you so much for joining us. It's always exciting to feel other people sharing in that excitement of a hunt. From myself, Peter, and from Rex behind the camera, thanks Rex. And Leishan as always in directing. Thanks for all the chit chat and conversation and feedback coming through from that side. And thanks for being with Wild Earth. Good night everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning 5:30 Central African time. We'll come and see what happened here during the course of tonight.
Hello everybody, it's Leishan in Final Control. I also just wanted to say thanks to everybody for a brilliant drive. I really had fun. Yeah, sure. Even the afternoon safari the PM safari was really good. Seeing these lions and seeing, almost the kill, and just learning so much more. The questions that you guys sent in, I also learned a lot this evening. So thanks for the interaction. Thanks for all the questions. Yeah, just thanks for keeping me busy on this side and the interaction with the guys on the jigger. As always, I've said thanks 1,000 times now. Thanks for joining us, and join us again for the AIM Safari, which will be at 5:30 Central African time. And tomorrow morning, Peter will be presenting again, and Rexon will be on camera again, so the same crew on the jigger, and Mark will be directing. So if you then have any questions or comments or whatever, do send them into finalcontrol@wildearth.tv. And before I ramble on too much, have a good evening, day, morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and join us again. Thank you.